Please help us by visiting and subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to click like and share. Continental identities, unraveling the origins, symbolism, and debates behind continent names delves into the intriguing realm of how our world's continents acquired their names, exploring the historical, cultural, and geographical significance attached to each. It takes you on a captivating journey through time, unraveling the origins of the names and the stories they tell about human exploration and cultural heritage. In the first section, we delve into the profound influence of early cartographers and explorers on the naming of continents. Early world maps and the works of individuals like Ptolemy played a pivotal role in defining the continents and shaping their nomenclature. These early naming conventions provide a foundation for understanding the complex web of identities associated with the continents. The second section shines a light on the intricate tapestry of indigenous names, shedding light on the rich linguistic diversity of our planet. It reveals that while continents have universally recognized titles, indigenous peoples have their own deeply meaningful names for regions and geographical features. These names hold cultural, historical, and spiritual significance, enriching the narratives of our continents. The third segment probes the role of exploration, conquest, and colonial powers in the naming of continents. The age of exploration led to European explorers often naming continents after themselves or their monarchs, leaving lasting imprints on global identities. This section peels back the layers of history to uncover how continents became entwined with the legacy of these explorers and their patrons. Finally, continental identities highlights the modern challenges and debates surrounding continent names. We examine how geopolitical shifts, environmental concerns, cultural sensitivities, and technological advances continue to influence the names and identities of continents in our ever-evolving world. This journey through the origins and significance of continent names promises to be a fascinating exploration of how language, culture, history, and politics intersect on a global scale. Africa, named after the Roman term Afri, refers to the northern part of the continent. Its rich history and diverse cultures showcase the continent's significance. Antarctica, meaning opposite to the Arctic, highlights its unique position as the southernmost continent, characterized by extreme cold and isolation. Asia's name has its roots in ancient Greek, likely derived from the Assyrian term Asu. It's the largest and most populous continent. Europe's name has unclear origins, but may be related to Phoenician roots or the Greek goddess Europa. Its cultural and historical influence is immense. North America, named after the explorer Amerigo Vespucci. North America's title signifies its vital role in the New World's discovery. Australia's name is derived from the Latin word australis, meaning southern. It's the smallest continent and the largest island. South America's name reflects its southern location on the American continents. It boasts diverse landscapes and cultures. Historical naming of continents. The naming of continents dates back to early explorers and cartographers like Ptolemy, who labeled 3 continents: Asia, Europe, and Africa. Pangaea, the supercontinent Pangaea, which existed around 335 million years ago, is a significant geological factor in the distribution of continents. Aboriginal naming in Australia. Indigenous Australians had their own names for various regions, illustrating the cultural significance of place names. Confusion over borders. The borders of continents are not always well defined, leading to disputes and different interpretations. Naming of Oceania, a region often included with Australia, consists of thousands of islands and diverse cultures, making it challenging to categorize. Native American names. Indigenous peoples in North and South America had their names for continents and regions, emphasizing the cultural diversity. The concept of Eurasia represents the landmass of Europe and Asia as a single entity due to their geographical continuity. Latin influence on naming. The Latin language played a significant role in naming many continents and regions, as it was the language of scholars and explorers. Colonial influence on naming. Colonial powers often imposed their names on continents and regions, which had lasting impacts on local cultures and identities. Controversies surrounding colonial names. The naming of continents during colonization led to tensions and disputes, as indigenous names were often disregarded. Indigenous perspectives. Many indigenous communities have different names and spiritual connections to the land, highlighting the complexity of naming continents. Discovery and exploration. Exploration and discovery during the Age of Exploration influenced the naming of continents, with explorers often naming them after themselves or monarchs. Political changes and renaming. The shifting political landscape has led to the renaming of continents or regions, as seen with the breakup of Yugoslavia. Australia vs. Australasia. The distinction between Australia and Australasia, including New Zealand and nearby islands, is sometimes blurred, leading to debates on regional names. Africa's diverse names. Africa is home to a multitude of indigenous languages and cultures, each with its name for the continent. Debate over continents and oceans. There's no universally agreed number of continents, as some consider Europe and Asia as one landmass, while others argue for an eighth continent in the form of Zealandia. Changing geographic features. Continents have evolved over millions of years due to geological processes, influencing their shapes and sizes. Modern challenges in naming. In our globalized world, the naming of continents and regions must consider the diverse linguistic, cultural, and historical perspectives. Antarctica's political neutrality. Antarctica's unique status as a continent governed by the Antarctic Treaty System demonstrates the importance of diplomacy in the region. Symbolism and unity. The naming of continents often serves as symbols of identity and unity for the people living on them. Antarctic exploration and discovery. The naming of regions in Antarctica reflects the heroic age of exploration and the national pride associated with expeditions. Naming contests and public engagement. Some nations involve their citizens in naming contests for regions, fostering public engagement in geographical matters. Asia's diversity. Asia's immense size and diversity make it challenging to generalize about its cultures, languages, and histories. Cultural significance of names. The names of continents are deeply ingrained in the cultural and historical narratives of each region. Indigenous maps and names. Indigenous maps and naming practices often differ from Western conventions, emphasizing the importance of diverse worldviews. Naming trends in the digital age. The internet and digital mapping have reshaped how we perceive and name continents, with online maps often offering multiple names. Environmental significance. The naming of continents can also reflect the environmental challenges and conservation efforts in each region, as seen with Antarctica's fragile ecosystems. Impacts on education. The way continents are named and taught in schools can influence students' perspectives and perceptions of the world. Linguistic challenges. Different languages have their names and classifications for continents, leading to linguistic challenges in a globalized world. Continents in popular culture. The naming of continents plays a role in literature, art, music, and film, contributing to their enduring significance in popular culture. Future challenges. As the world continues to change, the naming of continents will face new challenges related to geopolitical shifts, environmental concerns, and cultural sensitivity. The naming of continents is a complex and multifaceted topic, reflecting the intertwining of history, culture, geography, and politics on a global scale. It continues to evolve as our understanding of the world and our relationships with its various regions change over time. Early cartographic terminology. Early maps and cartography played a pivotal role in shaping the way continents were named. Ptolemy's world maps, created in the 2nd century, were instrumental in defining the continents and their names. These maps and their nomenclature had a lasting influence on European cartographers. Ongoing debates on Zealandia. Zealandia, a submerged continental mass in the southwestern Pacific Ocean, has been a subject of ongoing debate. Some geologists argue that it qualifies as the world's 8th continent due to its distinct geology, while others classify it as a microcontinent. Australia and Oceania. The distinction between the continent of Australia and the broader region of Oceania can be perplexing. Oceania encompasses not only Australia but also the islands of the Pacific. And its nomenclature reflects the region's vast cultural and geographical diversity. Continental drift and plate tectonics. The theory of plate tectonics and continental drift has revolutionized our understanding of continents. It explains how continents have moved over geological time, giving rise to their current positions and shapes. Antarctica's place in global science. Antarctica's isolation and harsh conditions have made it a vital location for scientific research, particularly in the fields of climate science, glaciology, and astronomy. Its name is synonymous with international cooperation for peaceful purposes. Indigenous place names in Africa. African nations have diverse indigenous languages and cultures, each with its own names for regions and geographical features. These names carry significant cultural, historical, and spiritual meanings. Geopolitical factors. Geopolitical interests have also influenced the naming of continents and regions. The naming of the Middle East, for instance, reflects the historical and geopolitical significance of the region. Changing boundaries. The boundaries of continents have not remained constant throughout history. They have been redrawn over time due to factors like political changes, war, and shifting geographical understanding. Regional names within continents. Within continents, there are various regional names that reflect local cultures and identities. For example, the Balkans refers to a region within Europe known for its complex history and diverse ethnic groups. Significance of local languages. The use of local languages in naming continents and regions can foster cultural diversity and help preserve endangered languages. Indigenous maps and navigation. Many indigenous cultures have developed intricate navigational systems and maps using natural cues, such as stars and ocean currents, rather than Western-style cartography. The influence of religion. Religious beliefs have also played a role in naming continents. For example, the division of the world into 3 continents, Europe, Asia, and Africa, has been associated with religious significance in various cultures. Technological advances. Advances in satellite imagery and remote sensing technology have transformed our ability to map and understand continents, making it easier to study geographical features, climate patterns, and environmental changes. Uninhabited continents. Some continents, like Antarctica, are uninhabited by permanent human populations. This presents unique challenges in terms of governance, environmental conservation, and the naming of geographic features. Cultural appropriation. The naming of continents and regions has at times been criticized for cultural appropriation, as colonial powers imposed European names on indigenous lands and features. Climate change and geography. The naming of continents also intersects with climate change discussions, as global warming is impacting the geography and environment of various regions. Economic significance. The naming of continents can be related to economic interests, as some regions are rich in natural resources, leading to debates over resource management and international boundaries. The role of international organizations. International bodies like the United Nations play a role in standardizing geographical nomenclature, helping to reduce naming disputes and promote international understanding. The role of art and literature. Artistic and literary works have contributed to the perception and significance of continents. Think of Jules Verne's Around the World in 80 Days and its influence on public perception. The future of continent names. As cultures and societies continue to evolve, the naming of continents is likely to adapt as well, reflecting changing values, languages, and global dynamics. The ongoing conversations about the names and identities of continents ensure that this topic will remain dynamic and relevant. In the concluding segment of Continental Identities, Unraveling the Origins, Symbolism, and Debates Behind Continent Names, we reflect on the enduring significance of this topic in our interconnected and ever-evolving world. The journey through the history, culture, and geography of continent names leaves us with a profound appreciation for the layers of meaning that underlie our understanding of the world. As we bring our exploration to a close, we recognize that the naming of continents is not just a historical artifact but an ongoing process. It continues to adapt and evolve in response to shifts in global dynamics, cultural sensitivities, and the challenges posed by climate change and technological advances. Our understanding of the world's continents will remain a dynamic and relevant aspect of our shared human experience. In Continental Identities, we've unearthed the origins, symbolism, and controversies surrounding the names of our world's continents, revealing how they encapsulate the stories of our shared history, diverse cultures, and ever-changing relationships with the planet. This topic invites us to continue the conversation, fostering greater understanding and appreciation for the complex web of identities woven into the very fabric of our world. Thank you for joining us on this cosmic journey today. We hope you've enjoyed exploring the wonders of the universe with us. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss another exciting space adventure. Just click that subscribe button and ring the bell. If you missed our last cosmic adventure, you could catch up right here pointing to the left. And get ready for our next space odyssey by clicking over here pointing to the right. Connect with us beyond YouTube by subscribing to Far and Beyond Earth channel for more in-depth articles and updates. Before we go, here's a thought-provoking question for you. What's most mesmerizing about Far and Beyond Earth you'd like to learn more about? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's continue the conversation. Thank you once again for being a part of our space-loving community. Join us in our quest to explore within our world, into the cosmos, and together, let's reach far and beyond Earth. Until next time, keep looking up to the stars. Please help us by clicking like, subscribe, and share. For more videos, Far and Beyond Earth.